2:20 all-time record for Kyle.
Of course, he did this the hard way. Showed up, no laps, his first lap on the track.
And if anybody can get that done, it's Kyle, right?
That's it.
And there's our local boy, Michael Annette, doing a great job out there racing with Carl Edwards, our in-race reporter.
Edwards is 10th right now. Contesting that is Annette.
And there's all kinds of experience, all different levels of experience. But racing guys like Carl Edwards, when you're a young driver, is priceless.
And they just got around the 27 of Drew Herring, you see right there, and also the 32 of Reed Sorensen in that mix. And Herring's looking racy in that 27, that Baker curve entry, not sponsored. Herring, a good little shoe. They hired this. In fact, I talked to his spotter right before they went up top, and he said that's exactly what he said. Good shoe, Drew Herring. Looking back at Michael Annette from Edwards.
Now, Ricky, as we look, we see the shadows as the sun sets here behind the grandstand. We have parts of the corner entry and going into turn 3 and into turn 1 out in the sun, exit. But as you get into 3 in the middle of 4, down the front straightaway, it's shaded. Is that going to affect the guy's vision? It's definitely going to affect the way the car's handled.
Yeah, and it can be disruptive, Ray. Remember, you use the wall as your reference. To gain speed, you want to go up as close as you can to the wall, let the car drift, and when you have that shadow, it affects your markers around the track, or your turn-in points or your exit points.
Well, we already see the multiple groove racing that we talked about from the start of the day today working its way out, and drivers choosing now where they're finding speed in their race cars.
They are. They're settling in what I like to call the sweet spot here, where we're maybe a third of the way into a run. And this is where I'm going to call down to my crew chief, Ray, and I'm going to say, Ray, this is what I have right now. And this is pretty valuable, isn't it? Because you might get a 30-lap run at the end of the race besides the winner.
Well, absolutely. You'll know where you're at with tire pressure and whatnot. I'm going to tell my driver that, hey, as we watch a great battle on the racetrack there with Kevin Harvick, Justin Allgaier,
12 cars in 6th position right now, Ray. Kevin Harvick battling with him. Kenny Wallace a lap down in the 28.
But I'm going to be telling my driver, okay, look, the lights aren't on yet. I don't want to get the car too tight, but let's take a good look at our tire pressure.
Here goes Harvick down to the inside of Allgaier, down into turn 3, and he's not going to get him because of that multiple groove racing. Check that out. Allgaier with the power down off the corner. Allgaier continues to hold that 6th position. Remember, Harvick started the day in 7th, and that's where he runs right now. Hasn't made any progress forward. And I bet he's one of the drivers who's waiting for a chance to have his crew chief do some work on it. All right, let's go down to pit road. Jim Noble is covering Allgaier today.
Well, Dave, you referenced the interesting morning of Justin Allgaier. He did wreck the primary car in that skirmish with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Then, at the end of practice, he got into it with Stephen Wallace to the point that NASCAR officials wanted to hear what was going on between those two. Now, in race time, Justin just radioed in and said he is way too tight right now. He's having a hard time getting into the corner, plowing through the middle of the turn.
Thanks, Jim. A lot of things to distract these drivers before they get to the race here. As Harvick works on him, we will come back here to Iowa Speedway. 32 laps completed. Your leader is Kyle Busch. Trevor Bayne trying to chase him down. We got around the bases twice this week on Sunday and Monday night for more Major League Baseball coverage. First, it's Andre Ethier and the Dodgers taking on their longtime rivals, the Giants, led by Buster Posey. That's ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball, 8 o'clock Eastern. Then the National League East rivals take the field on ESPN's Monday Night Baseball. That is at 7 Eastern as David Wright and the Mets take on Jason Hayward and the Braves. Both games are also available on ESPN3.com. Lead is heating up just a bit. 38 laps in the books, and Ray, we've been seeing Trevor Bayne make his way forward.
Yeah, as the 18 got into traffic, Kyle seems to struggle a little bit. He might be getting a little bit of an arrow push, and Trevor Bayne seems to be able to get a little bit better run up off of turn 2. So whatever they've made adjustments to his car better, Kyle might be looking for a pit stop to make some adjustments to his too.
Yeah, that's the great thing about this racetrack, and we say that there's 3 distinctive grooves. you're running this fast, you can get into that dirty air, so the driver has to move up a groove, get some air on the front, help the car turn, go where they're not. These guys are both going to get real busy here because they're in heavy traffic.
And I got to bring this up again. Trevor Bayne spent 90 minutes of practice today with 35 laps on this racetrack. Kyle Busch did not. Somebody else was practicing his car. How important?
As you see him there, making a peek inside, probably making his driver coach a little bit nervous, kind of going 3 wide there early. I don't know if Johnny's up there coaching him to go to that, but it looks like he's going to come out of there with a lead.
For the lead now into turn number 1, and he won't quite get it. He washes up, and Busch holds on.
But what was key is he didn't overdrive the turn entry. Had he done that, he probably would have been backed into the wall.
I don't think he's given up. He is still on the tail of Kyle Busch. Trevor Bayne trying to get back the lead, which was rightfully his, and we've got, a car in the wall. That is Reed Sorensen up in the wall in turn 1 and 2, and now he's got fire.
Big hit. Looked like he had a problem getting in there to be hit that hard on the right front.
Did it not look to you like a right front going down? Maybe too much camber here early? There's some discussion about right front.
Tony Raines involved too, Ricky. Raines was involved somehow too. We'll try to get a look at the replay for you. And here's another possible example. You were talking about right front. Raines is obviously down.
Anytime we start a race with this many laps under green, you always wonder about tire wear, particularly on the inside of the right front. I know that's an issue at this track.
It's a big hit, Ricky. We'll have to take a look. Normally when a car hits the wall that hard, something has gone wrong. But we do see Reed moving around in there. Got his window net down. That in NASCAR means that he is okay.
Needs to get out of there. The thing obviously still on fire, but
safety crew's coming over to douse that fire right now. That's on the right side of the car, and he is sitting just at the exit of turn number 2 here at this 7/8 mile speedway. That's a good sign. Reed hopping out and walking away. Whew.
He couldn't see the fire, but as a rule of thumb, you always want to get out of the race car with your helmet on,
and he wants to see what that right front looks like. Let's see what we can pick up right here, coming off the corner.
A little scrape off the corner exit, so maybe.
That's Tony Raines right there up in front at the top of your screen. He's having an issue.
Right front went down. You can see it leading all the way into the corner.
So that was one of the yellow cars involved. And here is Sorensen.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
You heard the pop.
Yeah. Sure did. And Ricky, as you were talking about the camber, I hope that's not the reason that the Braun cars have the speed that we're talking about, because if they're all set the same way, they better take a look at the others.
That is such a great point. Drivers love right front camber. It feels good. It's fast.
This is the look from Michael Annette, our in-race reporter, and he sees Sorensen just go straight up.
It feels good. It's fast, but there's no longevity to it.
Well, this is Reed Sorensen again at the exit of turn number 2. And while the safety workers and the cleanup crew go to work over there, they're going to stop the field on the front stretch. It's pretty much to let the folks get their work done over there.
A big enough oil spill also from the middle of 1 and 2 all the way to the exit of 2.
Coming from Sorensen's car. And again, after 44 laps with Kyle Busch, and now Trevor Bayne has actually led 1 lap at the stripe. We saw him battling for that lead. He's actually led 1, but Kyle has led the rest. We're going to take a quick time out here while the track workers get to work over there. And again, we did see Reed hop out of the car, so he is okay from that standpoint.
Also, Ray, from your perspective, when you're aware of a right front tire failing, doesn't it get your attention on pit road? Don't you start thinking about, okay, if this is a trend, how might I back off the right front? Maybe take some load off the right front.
Oh, absolutely. But if it is too much camber, there's not a lot of ways that you can get that out of there. You can make some minor air pressure changes, but without changing the shims and the upper control arm, you really can't change the camber. I think we're going to see guys come in as soon as they open this up and take on 4 tires.
Here's another look for you guys. 32 of Reed Sorensen slowed down. Look at that right front.
You see it go right there with enough force to actually bend the fender blow, and it blows at the worst possible spot in the center of the corner, hard into the wall. But thank goodness now with the new safety, the seats, the soft walls, you saw Reed get out of there and just really disgusted, if nothing else.
And you heard Shannon explain at the beginning of this race, this is the first track that was constructed with safer barrier all the way around. Now, that would have been a pretty common place to put safer barrier, which we're glad for, but this was the first one to do it all the way around the track. And the real insult to that wreck with Reed Sorensen is he was running 12th after starting 27th on the field today. So he'd had a great run toward the front. It's over now for Reed Sorensen. They will take that car home and cut out of it what they can. Reed walked away. He's all right. We'll come back to Iowa. Be sure to get your NASCAR Now this weekend, presented by 5 Hour Energy tomorrow at 9 a.m. on ESPN2. And tomorrow midnight, also on ESPN2. NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Pocono, presented by Aaron's, tomorrow 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Coverage begins with Countdown at noon. And don't forget, next Saturday, Nationwide Series racing from Watkins Glen. That's 1:30 Eastern on ESPN. Well, and that caution, of course, gives us a chance to award the Aaron's Lucky Dog free pass to a driver who was the first one not on the lead lap, and that was Jeremy Clements. He will be our